Before the Rings of Power even released, Amazon had the cast going into interviews whining about how hard their lives were and how they signed up for the show to change the entertainment industry. Oh, and they did. They were part of one of the most hated pieces of entertainment because of how it disregarded the amazing source material it was based on. And now these actors have decided to attack us all yet again in a desperate grasp for attention. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month, or support the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So this is a Bounding Into Comics article. It says the Rings of Power actors continue to attack Tolkien fans as ists. This isn't very surprising. Unfortunately, this is what these people have been doing for months at this point, but the show's already over. They're heading into season 2. You'd think that they would want all of the controversy to die down because, of course, season 1 faced massive backlash, and we know for Amazon, they have all but deemed this first season a failure, but no, these actors are not stopping. It says multiple Rings of Power actors continued to attack fans of the creator Tolkien and his works as ists as their show was exposed to audiences as being a black hole of creativity. It says Ismael Cruz Cordova, who played Arendir, Sophia Nomvet, who played Disa, and Cynthia Robinson, who played Queen Muriel, spoke with Variety's Nick Vivarelli, where they were asked about a supposed ist backlash to the casting. They have gone on about this ist backlash since before the show even started, and I'm gonna be honest, I saw very few people throughout the whole first season and all of the talk on social media calling them out because they're a different race. The only time I've actually seen people pointing out their race is when people are making the very valid criticism that things like darker-skinned elves didn't exist in the source material. Does that make them racist? No, it's critics calling out inconsistencies, and that isn't a bad thing. It says Cruz responded, saying the fact that the attention was shifted towards that shows you what the power of shows like this is. The fact that it hit a nerve, that our being in it created such a response, just brings attention to the greatness of fantasy, the greatness of Lord of the Rings, and why it's actually good that we are here. Did it become a bit too much? Absolutely. It's taken airtime from the depth of who we are as artists, but it just shows you where we are in the world and how much work we still have to do. I'm just grateful that it's us who are able to recalibrate, break form, reshape, and make history. Now, he talks here about it becoming too much and it's taken airtime from the depth of who we are. Then maybe that shouldn't have been your whole campaign. Okay, the only thing we ever found out about these actors were that, oh, they looked different than what people expected actors in this show to look like. And that's all that we know about them. Okay, I read almost all of the interview material for these individuals, and they never talked about their life, their passions, their drive. It was always just about the way that they looked. And yes, part of that is Amazon deciding that's the way that they wanted the show to be marketed, because they are actors who got paid to do all of this material. But at the same time, even now, after the show has released, they still haven't talked about themselves. They still haven't tried to make us feel connected to them in any way. In his statement, it's taken airtime from the depth of who we are. Then why are you responding to those people again? Very few people were actually sending ist backlash their way from everything that I've seen. And you are the one who is responding to all of it. Maybe you should just ignore the trolls. That's really what you have to do on the internet. There are going to be trolls everywhere in every group of people. If you respond to them and you acknowledge them, they're only going to become louder because they know that you see them. But of course, he wasn't the only actor to come out and say things like this. Adai Robinson then shared her thoughts. In order to not have such an impact, the pendulum has to swing. We are right in the middle of that process. We want to normalize. We do have to discuss it because we are now in a space in society where we need to now and again acknowledge exactly what is happening. If you wanted to normalize, you wouldn't be going into interviews like this. You wouldn't be making a big deal out of the fact that, oh, there happens to be a person of color playing an elf or playing a Numenorian. You would just go about your day like it was normal. The actors, the producers, the PR managers are the only ones who are making things more dramatic for themselves. Okay, if you didn't make it the only point of these interviews, people wouldn't have anything to talk about. She said, while it's been a challenge, it's been a phenomenal moment to be a part of. Doors are open and accessibility is available for absolutely everybody to feel safe within a franchise and a story of this scale. And then, of course, Sophia Nomvet stated, to answer your question, we still get a ton of controversy, but there has been a shift. You know what there has been? It feels like there has been a sit down. She elaborated, it feels like we had to prove ourselves almost. We had to defend ourselves, but it's undeniable that these people are in the position that they are in, deserve to be there, and should be there. There is nobody else that could have played that role, and I 100% disagree with Sophia. There are plenty of people who could have played the characters that they did. They didn't do phenomenal jobs. They didn't do outstanding jobs. They did not make me feel by the end of it like, wow, they were the perfect casting decisions. I almost never think that anyone is a perfect casting decision because there are so many amazing actors out there, but none of their characters were really standouts to me. I did think that Sophia did an okay job with Disa, and that's only because of the interactions with Durin. I feel like their interactions were pretty decent together, but if you took Durin out of the equation, the character would have no purpose. I just don't think that any of these actors are irreplaceable, and as I've said before, a problem with these characters is that they're non-canon. She feels like no one could have played her character, but no one should have played Disa because she's not from Tolkien's work and was completely made up. None of these people's characters should have been in the story. And of course, there was absolutely no evidence of all of this IST backlash that they claimed there was. There were no screenshots, no videos, no links, nothing. Okay, they went on about all of this backlash and couldn't provide any proof or evidence of the claims they were making, which of course is very typical for actors like this. But as you can see, the actors have continued to attack us as ISTs. They are desperate for attention at this point. We have no clue what's going to happen with season 2. It's years away. And honestly, going into the next season, I'm sure that they're going to keep this up where they attack Tolkien fans and they try to cause as much drama surrounding the show as possible. But as you can see, they're desperate and they're attacking us yet again. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.